you for your presence. And our last presenter, dear Mrs. Anna Hafner. I cannot see her, but yes, he's there, he's coming, she's coming. So please welcome her to the stage.
Hello, everybody. So this is going to be again about women inventors, the topic that was already opened by Eleonora. I'm waiting for presentation. Do I have to press? Yes. Okay. So actually this will be a short introduction of paper that I have prepared for the conference in Egypt, together with my Bosnian colleague Adil Jusic, who studies at the Faculty of Islamic Studies in Sarajevo, and with the great help of Mr. Hussein Hujic from Inventors Association of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Because in my more than 10 years work for Slovenian Inventors Association, I noticed there that a great majority of our members are males. It depends on year. However, in my association there were never more than 7% of women inventors. And I'm very happy to hear before from Eleonora that you have almost 40% of women. Is this true? But unfortunately, in most of countries, there are much more women in politics, in sports, in managerial positions, in science and arts, maybe even in military services than there are women inventors. So how could that be so? Why are there so few women inventors? A review of studies addressing the number of patents granted to women confirms that the number of women inventors is really very low. In most of countries, there are no more than 5% of women's patents, and in any country, there are no more than 23%. There is also one more interesting thing. According to available data, in some very developed countries, there is very small percentage of women inventors. But in some less developed countries, this percentage is surprisingly higher. So this is very interesting issue, since there is no doubt that women's rights and economic development are highly correlated. However, the share of female inventors is generally small, regardless of the country development. So, Slovenian researcher Alja Adam, who made interviews with a group of Slovenian women inventors, tried to identify main reasons why is it so hard for women to become inventors. She concluded that being an inventor is somehow a typical occupation for women, and it is narrowly defined through technological activity. Educational and other institutions reinforced stereotypes that are still present in all levels of social life, that is what is also reflected in the forms of occupational segregation. Adam also noticed that when women try to invent, they doesn't have much family support, especially not from their mates. So husbands and boyfriends doesn't support us. Moreover, women inventors have complained that there is unequal distribution of housework and childcare in their families. and that inhibits creativity of females and limits it to narrow fields. And also the information of Inventors Association of Bosnia and Herzegovina that I got from Mr. Hujic about their members clearly confirms these findings. Between their young inventors, there are nearly 1/3 of girls, and then this percentage dramatically flows in the adult population. So when a girl becomes a woman, she is increasingly losing time and opportunity to invent because of these reasons that we mentioned before. But we, most of all, have to ask ourselves, why is it actually so important that more women would participate in innovation? Why? First answer is very simple. A Slovenian professor of sociology of creativity, Jan Makarovic, said, whenever a half of humanity is excluded from any activity, the world is losing half of its creative potential. Maybe some inventions that could save the world, that could help many people, that could help in solving our mental problems, are not invented yet because inventor was not born yet, or because she is a woman and she didn't have opportunity to invent. At the same time, we have to bear in mind that there are no any natural or religious obstacles that would prevent women to invent. Since the main religion in Turkey is Islam, I would like here to remind you to the Egyptian writer Kazim Amin, as well as to Indian Muslim Mumtaz Ali, and they both have very progressive ideas almost 120 years ago, how women should be equal to men in all fields. And there is another important thing. Why is this so important? As I said, in our Slovenian Association of Inventors, there are not a lot of women. However, though they are so few, they are much more successful than men in the sense of invention commercialization. More than 90% of men inventions never reach the market, but women commercialize their inventions in 50%. I'm very curious what are experiences in other associations. So if you have any similar data I would, and idea-wise, so maybe Eleonora has some, I would like to hear it. But okay, I also have some of my own ideas. Why so? Generally, men have a much stronger self-esteem than women when they invent. They are sure that invention, if it's good for them, it will be good for anybody. But this is not always true. Women are more likely to consult with others when they develop a new product. This is also the main principle of so-called lean innovation that was already mentioned at the beginning. Lean innovation method, which learns us how to develop our products by interviews with their users. And another thing, when we are speaking about independent inventors who are putting their own money in innovation, and this is usually family money, is that, that women are much more careful when they are putting to risk their family finances. So they think 10 times before they try to invent something. Here are some our very successful members. Because we don't have time, I will not introduce their work. But Milena Potočnik, the first picture, she was the first inventor in our association that successfully sold license to another company. And she is a woman, and this is a device for relaxing the spine. So at the end, I would just like to say that it is very important to stimulate and encourage women inventors, and there are already some successful examples, also from International Federation of Inventors Association, who awards women inventors, and also from World Intellectual Property Organization. I would also like to manage the fair in Seoul, international exhibition of women inventions, where every year about 300 women exhibit their inventors. And I also have a pleasure now to invite Dr. Branka Kolar-Mijatović, who is president of European Association of Women Inventors, to introduce very shortly their association. Please come here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Branka Kolar-Mijatović. I'm president from Bosnian Association Women Inventors, from European Women Inventors, and I am vice president from IAE. I'm like speak from my language, and my interpreter is right. Ana, thank you very much. Želim da se zahvalim domaćinu i želim da se zahvalim organizatorima ovoga prekrasnog prvog internacionalnog sajma u Istanbulu.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciations and best regards to our hosts and organizers of this first international fair in Istanbul.
Kao doktor nauka iz oblasti intelektualne svojine i autorskog prava, do sada sam sa velikim brojem žena i naravno svojih kolega inovatora pokušala dati mali doprinos stvaralaštvu svijeta.
As a doctor of legal science, on paper of copyright and intellectual property, I tried to give my small contribution to the world of innovators.
Učestvovali smo na mnogim sajmovima, dali svoj mali doprinos, a ono što je posebno zadovoljstvo da je IFIA prepoznala žene koje mogu i znaju da daju svoj doprinos stvaralaštvu.
We participated on several, on many fairs in Europe and in the rest of the world as well. But what is a real pleasure to me is that IFIA recognized the importance of women innovators, and I would like to invite them, to encourage them to include even more women to their organization.
Žene su stvaraoci svijeta, žene rađaju. Nabrojat ću samo neke. Marija Curie, Valentina Terješkova, gospođa Mileva Marić-Einstein i još mnoge druge žene su dale svoj veliki doprinos stvaralaštvu.
Women are creators of this world. They are giving birth, they are natural creators. Some of them, like Valentina Terjashkova, Madame Marie Curie, Mileva Marić-Einstein, and so many more already gave their great contribution to this world.
Ne želim da zloupotrebljavam ovu govornicu, želim da pozovem IFIU da nas žene uključi u još većem broju u svoje stvaralaštvo, jer nam je želja da zajedno sa inovatorima svijeta damo svoj mali doprinos i još više poboljšamo našu veliku svjetsku zajednicu.
I appreciate that you gave us time to speak here. I would just like to invite IFIA to include more women to their organization, and our hope is to, together with all innovators, to try to make this world a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hvala, Ana.
So this was so good conclusion that I will also not speak anymore, and thank you very much for your attention.